Hello folks, I'm OdinSpack, and welcome to another day of Odin's Collection. Today I have for you Gauntlet, the Gauntlet, on NES. A classic for sure. Not one of my childhood games, but it may as well have been with the amount of times I emulated it back in the day. But this is a classic. It's a very classic, tough game. And the series itself, very classic as well. So let's choose our starting hero, and then let's talk about it a bit. So each of the heroes have their own, strengths and weaknesses. We're gonna go the wizard, who's good at using the magic or bombs, as they're called in this, but weak with defense. And then mid everywhere else. So let's rock the wizard and talk about Gauntlet a bit. So this game is brutal hard. It is a you need to figure out what the heck you're doing kind of game. There's secrets all over the place. Like, for instance, that's a secret exit. Like, it's got stuff like that, like, littered all throughout this game. It's just one of those kinds of games, and I've gotten really far in it with numerous save states. Like I said, I emulated the heck out of this game way back in the day. I'm a lot more familiar with the later entries in the Gauntlet series, like Gauntlet Legends and Dark Legacy, and maybe we'll see those down the road. They also rebooted Gauntlet back in, what was it, 2014? 16? I can't really remember. It was one of those years, but I was really into that game too. It was kind of like a light Diablo experience, pretty much. That was probably the best way to describe it. So, Gauntlet's been around for a while. This particular one is actually pretty interesting, both on how I got it and kind of like the history behind it. So this is an unlicensed game from Tengen, but this eventually would become licensed. So there's both unlicensed cartridges of Gauntlet, which is what I have, and there's also actually licensed gray carts of it, like by Nintendo. So I think that's kind of interesting that both exist. One of the rare instances where they actually had both of them. This is definitely an NES classic, I would say, for sure. Especially the music, the Gauntlet theme that you're hearing right here. Like, this is from this game. This wasn't in the arcades, to my knowledge. I don't believe this was an arcade theme. I'm pretty sure this is from this game. Alright, let's ignore all of these guys here. Don't worry, we're gonna tank some hits because we got a little cash room coming up here where we can get our health back as long as we can find the exit, which I saw right there, so we can take our time. Because if we get these treasure chests, we can up our max health here. But this game in particular, this cartridge of Gauntlets, and I know a little history behind the licensed and unlicensed. I'm sure there's more to it than that, but that's really all you need to know. Back at Con Bravo, which is a convention that was that used to be held in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. And that's probably good. I should probably stop getting so greedy and go. I was dead set on getting a game from the vendor hall, and for some reason I was set on getting Gauntlet for $5. I was like, I can get Gauntlet for $5. 5 Canadian dollars, mind you. And I'm pretty sure I technically got Gauntlet for $5, but it was part of like a bundle deal with some other games. But I was like, oh, this counts. This is Gauntlet for $5. And I don't know why I was so dead set on Gauntlet for $5. But it kind of became a joke for a bit. So, oh yeah, these like little paralyzed spots here. It just ruin you if you get that in the wrong, like when there's enemies around. But yeah, so I was dead set on getting this Gauntlet cartridge for $5. So this is a convention pickup from back in the day. Which, I try to make it a point when I go to game conventions to try and pick up a game or two, even though they're kind of overpriced at conventions, like they really are. But it's still fun because you can usually find like what you're looking for at a convention versus like, out and about, you don't know what you'll get. But, if you're looking for a particular game, you'll find it. Like, I knew I would find Gauntlet. I didn't know I'd find it for $5. I hoped I would. And I'm pretty sure it was listed at like 10, but I got it for $5. I'm sure I got it for $5. Because, I wouldn't be talking about it right now. It wouldn't be much of a story, would it? But yeah, so I got Gauntlet for $5. So this is the Gauntlet for $5 card. Let's say that a few more times. I really need to iterate that, to really make it stand. But it was a good time. I really had a good time at that convention. And, you know, there'll be plenty more convention stories from me, like, as far as picking up games to come. There's not a whole lot more to really talk on Gauntlet as far as that is concerned, because, I mean, what else is there? I mean, it's Gauntlet for 5. That's kind of it. That's kind of the whole story, you know? There's not really a whole lot more to it than that. But, this is a series that, like, I really do like, and, you know, one day I would like to finish this game. I probably would rely on save states because it's pretty ridiculous getting to the end of this one, or, you know, maybe just using a guide might help in general. But it is very brutal. It is a 2-player game, too. I don't know if it's any easier 2-player, if I'm being honest. I feel like it's probably one of those games where it's actually probably tougher to play 2-player than it is single-player, but just because you have control of the map versus, like, you know, not. But I got pretty far co-op from what I remember. I played this a lot with Scythe back in the day. We actually played this on a Bros around the time I actually picked up this cartridge. So that tells you how, you know, how long I've had this. Quite a bit. I've had this cartridge for a while now. It was also a real pain in the neck to get started. I guess due to the nature of it being, like, not a standard gray cart. My NES, like, I need that thing cleaned because the toaster NES, as it's known as, the one I have, it is not very friendly to carts, depending on how old it is, as far as, like, getting them to start up. So I probably need to get that thing cleaned at some point, or replace those pins, because I would like to keep it. It is my original NES. It's the one, I mean, I guess it's technically my brother's, but, you know, I've inherited this one. I've held on to this for long enough. I've kept it, you know, in good safekeeping, that I've laid claim. I've laid claim to this NES. Alright, we're doing pretty good so far. We got, you know, you get healed at those little coin rooms there. I don't know why I'm talking like this is a Let's Play, but I don't know. There's not a whole lot, I guess, more to say on Gauntlet. But yeah, it's, like I said, it was definitely a real pain. You know what, let's use a bomb here. Let's show what that does. Clear off the screen there. Also, this game was an arcade game. This is a lot different than the arcade, but for some reason they decided to keep in the health counting down. I feel like this game would still be very hard even if your health didn't count down. So the fact that you are always dying in this, because, you know, they did that for the arcade, so that, you know, you'd have to insert quarters and stuff. But the fact that that's, like, in this, too, makes this, like, really difficult. It is not easy, like, at all. So, it's, you know, it's quite the experience playing Gauntlet. But I think we'll probably, you know, get to an exit here and probably call it, because, you know, it's a nice little bite-sized video. Actually, honestly, I feel like the exit's still pretty far away. Yeah, we have to... Yeah, I'll probably die doing this. You know what? That would be a good way to end. No. Alright, we got the exit. Well, thank you so much for watching. I've been OdinSpack, and this has been Odin's collection of Gauntlet. So this was pretty cool. I had a good time doing this. And I'll see you next time for the next video. So I hope you enjoyed my little story today on Gauntlet. So have a good one, take care, and goodbye.